And welcome everyone, and I'm very happy to have you for another ranked review. And this time we're gonna cover Gratty in the jungle. Of course I have to cover Gratty, MVP of the PCC 9, winning the whole event with the professors. And here on top of that, in that ranked match, top level ranked match, he's playing the Serath. And to be honest, Serath is a character that I have been struggling quite a lot with in the jungle. So I'm kind of curious to see how Gratty managed to pilot it, and so I'm quite curious to see like what's gonna happen in that match. So as we can see, we start with the little trick of going back and then put the ward as late as possible on the blue buff, kind of offering you a little bit of vision. We started with the warrior crest and the short sword, which kind of offer you the fastest clear, and when we back, we change for the sentry. We start with the red buff, with using Chastise as the first ability, which is the ability that offers you the fastest clear. That's something I'm not really sure why Gratty doesn't like to hunt immediately and he wait for the... By doing so, you're kind of safer, but at the same time, that means that you kind of delay your third charge of hunt. And here we can see that he decided to go for the Ascend, use the Ascend to deal damage on every single minion, taking the 2 AoE minion, and we're gonna clear like the 5 camp and move on towards the 2 camp. So in terms of players, here that happens quite a lot when you play Serath. Like sometimes the Ascent get captured by the geometry, and here we can see that's gonna slow down a little bit the clear. We see the hunt being used on the big minion, and we're gonna like move towards the 4 camp, and we're gonna put a point into the Evan's Fury. So far Chastise, Ascents into Evan's Fury, and here we're looking to maybe for something. We see that there is some aggression onto the offlane. The Grux use a big portion of his kit to be aggressive, and so we're gonna try to go for a gank immediately, skipping completely like the blue side and also the river bug, and that should be like a flash being guaranteed. Here Professor X has to be careful, forced to flash away. We're gonna go for the Ascend, turn the camera to get the body block, and we're gonna get the auto attack, and we flash out. So that's something for those of you that don't know with Serath. Based on the orientation of your camera, you're gonna exit the opponent in that specific angle, and that's what Gratty used here. Used the Evan's Fury, then he turned his camera back to the Crux, so then when he gets out, he body blocked the Crux. It was very close call because Genixid missed the subjugate because he wasn't expecting that, but that means that we get like a first gank and a first blood for himself, which allow him to go back to base because he was very low, and get the Ironwood Warbow immediately, probably working towards the Sky Splitter. Sky Splitter offering you like a lot of damage, but also good clear potential, will help you if you want to try to solo some Fang Tooth or Mini Prime later on. And here we get the blue buff. We see there is some action in the mid lane. Survivor getting picked up by the gank from Professor X that decided to not go back to his lane. Gratty is looking to maybe make something happen because Terror was very low, but without any flash, I think that was a little bit ambitious. And as we can see here, once again, the Ascend being catched by the geometry, not being able to get the full lens. I feel like here we lost quite a lot of time just jumping around when I feel like the action was already gone. So we probably should have cleared like 3 camp, 4 camp, and keep like the tempo up. Here we're kind of lost quite a good amount of tempo, but it's always something we can recover. If we have learned something from previous reviews, is that the game is never done and you should always try to play to the maximum of your abilities. So we killed the 4 camp. Of course 3 camp was up, but it's better when you're slightly behind to focus on the 4 and 2 camp, because that's the 2 camp that give you the most experience. And so here we're gonna go for the river buff. Also, we can note that Chastise has been like level a second point, so that's gonna be the ability we're gonna prioritize. We're gonna try to go for the other river buff, catching a little bit of information. We see that Thor, we're both level 4. We have a hunt, so we're looking at fighting a little bit. Gonna steal like 1 minion. We do dodge the boulder throw, so we get some good damage. Survivor was coming. Terror actually got absolutely bully. We tried to go for the Ascent, but that's just gonna be the flash. And the Iggy survive, but we got like the whole dual lane in mid lane, so we have to disengage, otherwise it's gonna be careful. And we also, wow, 5-man mid lane. We're gonna try to use the Evans Fury. That gives you enough time to get the Ascent back, and so we're gonna disengage. So pretty heavy rotation. Already Professor X rotating 2 times in the mid lane. A lot of resources being pulled and spent towards denying Survivor in the mid lane. We're gonna go for the reset. Here we kind of confirm we're going for the Sky Splitter with the Crispin Hedge being secured. And here red buff is up. We kind of have to farm a little bit. We're gonna get the level 5, but we could be close to the level 6. And level 6 for Serath is pretty strong ganks usually, because people start to disappear very quickly. So we're gonna get the level 5. And here we're gonna go for probably around the river buff, 7 minutes. If something happens in dual lane, maybe we go there. We're gonna swipe around the Fangtus, trying to offer an opportunity here. We see that there is no ward, so maybe there is a gank potential on the dual lane. So we're just waiting. Thor is here as well, so we're gonna maybe look for a counter aggression, but that's a little bit risky. So that's just gonna be like a standoff. And that is important as a jungler to sometimes not be overzealous. Of course, he could have like jump on maybe off one of those targets, but his dual lane wasn't in a position to follow up. So if he jumped in, he would basically just lost like all his health without any kill potential. So here we're trying to go back because they're trying to crash the wave. We do have the level 6 on the Rictor, but there is not much to be found. Here we can see that the off lane, Genixid, starting to get like a solo kill against the enemy Grux. So the early gank plus the too early rotation of the Grux starting to be costly for him, because now it's a solo kill. And so here we're looking for the invade, going on to the 2 camp. You can see that the Rampage just has gone back to base, so that's gonna be a free invade for Gratty. And he's gonna go back to base because he has enough gold to finish his first item. And so it's kind of important in jungle, since you don't really have any issue of like going back to base at a certain point. The only issue can happen is you let the Fangtus be taken by the enemy team, but most of the time you don't have any wave to manage in a sense. So going back on your timing, strong timing, is actually very valuable. And here you can finish an item. That's a strong power spike. You should abuse it. That's immediately what Gratty does. And he's gonna get this Sky Splitter, especially since in the jungle, if you finish your item, suddenly you're clearing faster, which means that now you're gonna get your next item faster and you can snowball very fast. So sometimes even backing before you finish your clear is more beneficial, because true, you don't get to finish your clear at that moment, but overall your clear will be probably faster overall, because now you get the item when you come back to your jungle. Here we can see that Professor X is trying to be a little bit aggressive onto this tower, so we're gonna like try to ganking. We're gonna use the Heresy, we force the flash, but then we have the Ascent plus Evans Fury once again. We do use correctly the getting out of Evans Fury, then we get the Colossal Blow. We're gonna just have to wait for cooldown to be back, and that should be like a kill. Professor X did a good job to survive long enough, but he pushed a little bit too aggressively and get punished for it, and that's another kill for Gratty. In the meantime though, as we can see, the Rampage is taking advantage of that to go for the Fangtus. With the Iggy and Scorch, that should be a free Fangtus for the enemy team, unless like Kikzik managed to do like a very nice steal, but it's not gonna be enough. We tried to go for the Revenant ultimate, it's not gonna work out, and so that's gonna be free Fangtus for the enemy team. We do try to walk towards there though, but there is like everyone that is here. I don't think there is any play to be made. We don't have the ultimate on Gratty, so it's just gonna be a like pick up Survivor, try to go, and in the end we offer 3 people, which I think here we just let the enemy team take the Fangtooth. Like there is no reason to try to contest it. They do a very heavy rotation, and not because all the team actually try to contest that Fangtooth. That means the enemy team can rotate, and as you can see, they're going to rotation on the offlane and could have taken Mini Prime as well if they want. So sometimes, like the first Fangtooth, if the enemy team like pull a lot of resources towards it, just let it go. No need to die for it on top of getting the Fangtooth for the enemy team. So no, there is not much tempo to be gained. The enemy team is on the Mini Prime, but the dual lane is next to Gratty. Gratty is on the opposite side, so here he's just trying like to compensate that by going for the invade, because there is no way they can go to contest the Mini Prime from how much tempo they lost after dying after the Fangtooth. So we're trying at least to get a little bit of compensation back with dealing some damage to this tier 1 tower, invading 3 camp. And now we're gonna go back because we have the crest available and there is nothing in the near vicinity to do so. Once again, remember, if you have a good power spike to go fetch, go for it. And having your crest is a pretty decent power spike overall in the jungle, because that gives you like 1 more active for your ganks and also like a good amount of stat. So far, 2-0 on Gratty. He's having an okay match, but offlane is doing great, Genix it. The rest of the map, a little bit more complicated, but that Crux has been 1 and 5. So the early aggression here has worked. Here we're gonna try to fight. We're gonna use the ultimate immediately. Gonna choose the Evans Fury. We try to keep like dealing as much damage as we can. We force the Behemoth to be used. We have to be careful. Their doesn't have mana, so that should be the end of that engagement. And since there is not much more, we're maybe looking Survivor, trying to deal as much damage as we can. Gratty has to be careful. He's very, very low on health. There is not much you can do when you're low on less on a Serath. But we're gonna try to play with that Sevrog and gonna follow up, and we're gonna secure the kill. But, ooh, Evans Fury, and then we turn the camera to be outside of the range of the tower. Very well played, very well executed here by Gratty. You have to appreciate some good mechanical prowess here. I thought it was toast for sure, but he find like the Q spell, Heaven's Fury on the minion, and then he turned his camera to get out of the tower range because no allied target was under the tower. So as soon as he got out, he would have been targeted by the tower and probably would have died. So very well played here. We see that Professor X getting aggressive onto Genixit, so Gratty was ready to go there to help and support, but as soon as Genixit is out, he's gonna go like for the blue buff, and then he's probably gonna cover one lane or force at least Professor X to go away. And as we can see, Professor X going for the Cyan buff, not forcing the tower, so Gratty now has a little timing to go for the 3 camp. So we do have a kill on the dual lane. We can see that there was some collapse, so Gratty and Survivor are gonna try to follow that collapse. Even if the carry dies, it's still a 3v3, while they probably like spend some resources. So we're gonna try to be aggressive, we're gonna get onto the Iggy, but we don't go too fast on the Evans Fury or the Ascend because we want to be able to follow up the telekinetic link. And now we're gonna like follow up, we get the Evans Fury plus the hook. That's gonna be a lot of damage. Square being used, force the flash, Ascend, maybe Evans Fury, but no, we're gonna go for the flash chastise to secure that kill. I think Evans Fury cooldown was still a little bit far off, and we're gonna secure like a good overall 3-4-1. And that allow Gratty to not be in a 5-0 situation. Doing a pretty good job of getting all those last hits to get all the kills. Here I think we should be looking at probably backing with all the gold he has to finish his item before the Fangtooth. But we're actually going to force the Fangtooth before that because the team is here. Rampage was still dead, just respawning right now. So we can actually do the Fangtooth before going back to base. Here you had like basically 2 options. After the kills you go back to base to buy your item, or then you stay a little bit around and then you have to do the Fangtooth before the enemy team collapse on it. So we keep the farm going. Here, there is not much to be done. We're not really looking to fight because we're sitting on a lot of gold. We're simply looking at clearing our own jungle. Most of the lane are not really like advanced on the map, so there is nothing to really do on the map. So Gratty taking that moment to farm a little bit. And now he's gonna go back to base, secure his second item. Which is gonna be a Bonzo. So Bonzo received a slight buff in the last patch. Slightly better slow and slightly better buff of attack speed. So I guess Gratty wanted to try out a little bit that. Also offering you quite a substantial amount of health, 500 health, kind of allowing you to survive until you get that first reset. Here we do see that Thor is here looking for some aggression, but the damage is pretty good. We got the double item plus the crest, so we're gonna dodge the boulder with the Heaven's Fury, and now that's gonna be probably good damage, but ooh, Ganks was dealing a lot of damage in the meantime. But as you can see here, Gratty wasn't in a position that his teammate was going to come faster than the enemy teammate. He started the 1v2, but why did he start the 1v2? Because he felt like he was stronger, like 2 item complete with the Ruthless Broadsword, so in terms of itemization he was much higher. And here we're gonna like try to follow up maybe, ooh, the drone that's jumping, and we're gonna secure another kill here. Waiting for the right moment, following his teammate and securing another kill. And so that's something that we've seen time and time again by top player, is that they abuse their power spike. Here, you see, Gratty feel he was stronger, and he was right, because he has more itemization, and in terms of level, he was like even or a level up. So that's a good time for him to fight, and that's exactly what he does. Overall, they secure like a double kill without losing anyone, and that creates a lot of tempo on the map. They kind of punish well the invade, and now we can secure an objective for their trouble. Little trick, pretty obvious one, but you can use the Heaven's Fury to dodge the bounce. And the thing is, like, even when you're in Heaven's Fury, you can still use the hunt, so there is no risk in actually utilizing it. And that's a good way to secure objective overall. Here Professor X, a little bit overstepping his boundaries, while the mini-perm just got taken, so he's gonna pay it with his life. So, there is no need to stay in the off lane. Wave is going to be pushed by the Sevrog, so we're going to rotate, trying to find some more pressure. Here we do have Thor that is around with the Rampage, so we're not going to fight the 1v1. We're trying to go back towards his team, who actually, like, we get the collapse, we're trying to go in, we dive in onto the Iggy and Scorch, and we're going to secure the kill, get the reset, get a lot of damage onto the Rampage, and we're going to, like, TP away. Very good heads-up play by Gratty, realizing that the Rictor was going for the flank and trusting the Rictor to land the skewer. That could have been a risky play, to be honest, because if there was not the CC, the enemy team could have turned on Gratty immediately and one-shot him, and he was a huge bounty, but he targeted the right enemy, the Iggy, the Rictor as well, which managed them to fully get Iggy out of the picture. And then with a reset, he has the opportunity to either disengage, jump onto the next target. And so, good synergy between the two players here and securing additional kill for himself. 8-0 and 2 already by Gratty, despite the fact that I feel like the early game once again wasn't like stellar. I feel like he tried to be on some moment that actually didn't really pan out. He also like get okay ganks, but also lose a lot of time. And as you can see, it doesn't really matter. No, he's completely well into that match. He's gonna secure his third item. Professor X, once again, not really respecting. Is kind of low, gonna go for the fight. Use his whole combo, but no, he doesn't have anything left. Well, we still have some damage. We still have to respect, but Gratty was well aware that he was going to deal enough damage. So we're gonna secure that. Ventus is going to respawn though, so maybe this little time spent on Professor X can be costly, because they're not gonna be on time for the Fangtus, and Iggy and Rampage already looking to get to it. And we're gonna finish the Basilisk as the third item, so more health. Kinda triggering also more damage from the colossal blow. And I feel like you need a little bit of survivability when you're playing a Serath. And here you can see Fengtus has been already like secured, Beamos being used. We're gonna try like to dodge the boulder, but this time Thor waiting for the right time. Call the Inferno is being used, but we're still like dealing as much damage as we can. And now we also have the Grim that arrived to the party. Here I feel a little bit aggressive, but Thor getting better at keeping his boulder for the right target. His team is collapsing though, so probably this Grim is not gonna survive long enough. Landmine, very nice cleanse to stop the landmine, but we're gonna get like the ultimate. Now we're gonna turn on to also Professor X. The Grim actually surviving with 1 HP. And so overall the team is cleaning up. I feel like we could have been like slightly more patient on the side of Gratty, but we get a 3-for-1, kind of force them to fight him, which kind of bait the rest of the team so they can collapse. And now they're gonna start the Orb Prime while Gratty just respawns, so he's gonna be there on time to be able to be there for the hunt. And the enemy team has been like sent packing completely to base, so that should be like a free Orb Prime for them. Because the Rampage on top of that doesn't have the Beamos anymore, so he's not in a position to fight that objective. So as you can see, we secure the Orb Prime. Thor was trying to come. Good zoning by the Rictor. So far this Rictor is doing his job very properly. Getting the good engage, not overextending in certain situation. Here doing his job of zoning the opponent. So of course, the higher you climb, the more chance you will have to have competent teammates. That doesn't guarantee competent teammate, don't get me wrong, but it actually increases your chance of having some. And here, definitely, Rictor doing his job. So we keep farming. We're 9, 1, and 4. Our main job is to deal damage. Here you can see the phase, kind of Iggy like letting the phase away, which kind of cost him his life. Ooh, maybe he's gonna survive. Yeah, we're gonna survive. Ooh, that was close call. The crush almost connecting with Serath on the tower. Terror, like, not staying with the face here was a big mistake, almost costing his life. Serath is not very good at applying pressure or die or like at really forcing fight. It's not a front line, it's an assassin. So you can see immediately what Gratty does. His team was applying pressure on the tier 2 tower in mid lane, but it doesn't stay with them. He immediately tried to create some side pressure, because in the 1v1 Serath is actually like super strong, and then when she come after with the flank she'll be even stronger. And so that's why Gratty like doesn't stay in the middle of the team fight, but actually go for the split push. And so that's one of the rare case that as a jungler, when you play this type of character, it's actually better to go for the split push than actually like keep pushing with your team. And as you can see, that secure tier 2 tower. We're gonna secure also an inhibitor now because we have the good timing. The enemy team is fighting on the left side, and maybe now we can look for like a collapse and to join with the team. And here we can see we're trying like to cut any potential. We do have Thor going away. We're gonna like look to get the kill. Unfortunately, we don't connect anything. I feel like we probably would have need like maybe an Ascent, an Evans Fury, something. Here we're taking a lot of damage, and unfortunately the flank is not really good. As that's the problem with Serath sometimes, like you try to go on the target and suddenly you're slightly out of range, your Evans Fury doesn't connect, and then you get CC, you take a lot of damage because you're very squishy, and that end up dying. But at least we created some distraction and we secured the inhibitor for, like in a sense, because they were all fighting the Serath next to the core. That means they couldn't defend this the second inhibitor, and so we secured 2 inhibitors for themselves. And Gratty should be up before the respawn of the Primal Fangtus, so he should be able to fight and participate in that team fight. Where are we in terms of itemization overall? So we do have the salvation being completed. So once again, you see like very bruisery item, mainly focus on health, no like physical or magical armor, even though we start to get a little bit of magical armor. with the heroic ward, and the idea is to just like get that first reset, and then from that reset you should be able to keep going. This salvation really helps in that regard, because you get like this bonus shield that can give you like the extra survivability that you need to be able to secure a kill, while also giving you like a lot of physical power and overall. And here, as you can see, team grouping around the Primal Functus, that's gonna be like the next objective, best interest for both team. Here, Gratty, I think he's caught by the ward. He's gonna try to be aggressive onto Gens, and he's gonna dodge also the Boulder Throw. Gonna wait for the right time for the Evans Fury, turn around, and he's gonna secure the solo kill onto the enemy carry. So now he can turn his attention towards the Rampage. He's gonna get the Salvation proc, so force the Rampage away. And yeah, this Iggy is kind of low. Oh, we're gonna get the ultimate, but I think that was the flash from the Iggy. And so here the team is gonna regroup probably to try to go for that Primal Functus. They secure 2 kills overall. And a pretty nice engage by Gratty to secure the kill on the main target. That you're an assassin. You need to find the opportunity. Here he dodged the boulder, which was the only CC available to stop him in that situation. And then makes the life a little bit complicated with exiting the Evans Fury in a, like an angle. And now we can secure the Primal Functus. We're gonna go back to base to spend a little bit the gold, and also, more importantly, getting back the health, because you need to be full health. There is no sustain in the team to be able to heal Gratty back. And now we're gonna probably like look at grouping to push for the W, or at least like keeping the wave push. Now here I think we're gonna keep the wave push as much as we can. We got the level 16, so we got the ultimate level 3, which is a pretty big power spike. And then we're gonna look at getting this Orb Prime. I feel like this mid lane should have been looked at, but Survivor is gonna go for it. And here we're looking for some aggression, maybe get the pickup before this Orb Prime, taking advantage of the fact that we have 2 inhibitors down to get full control of the jungle with the ward, to be sure the enemy team doesn't know we are here. And here we're gonna try to surprise them, gonna go aggressively. We're probably a little bit too deep, but we're gonna flash away. A lot of resource has been expanded towards this Serath. We're gonna get this Grux. This Grux is dead for sure. Unfortunately, we're gonna lose like the Sevrog, because the Sevrog was creating space beforehand. We're gonna follow on to that Rampage. And I feel like it was a little bit forced. Like, I don't think the team was fully in the position to fully follow up. So that could have been like a little bit dangerous, but in the end they secure like triple kill. They're gonna try like to finish the core with that push. People are kind of low on health, so they have to be careful. Kind of have to navigate that properly. And here that's gonna be the disengage. They're not gonna be able to finish. He will use the Icecorn talent to help his teammate disengage and also slow down any pursuit. So at least we secure all the inhibitors. Even though the 2 inhibitors on the side probably gonna respawn pretty soon. We're gonna clear the enemy jungle. It's always like kind of nice to steal like those resources from the enemy team when you disengage. But I feel like probably here we didn't have to force it as hard. And we could probably have simply just like disengaged to go to the Orb Prime. And would have been like the better play, and then with the Orb Prime we would have secured the win. Here, of course, Dusk team is gonna collapse towards the Orb Prime. That's the objective they want to secure for the win. They also have the Grim that's defending the left inhibitor, so that means a big portion of the damage is not available. And they have pretty huge like objective damage with the Serath. You always like kind of have pretty like Serath Sky Splitter. We have a lot. Here we have Thor trying to go immediately into the pit, but as you can see the team is turning at that level. In the Paragon rank, people start to know like their bases. Instead of like keep DPSing the objective, turn on the enemy jungler, so there is no risk. And we force Thor away, even the Revenant using the Reckoning to guarantee that. Ooh, we're dodging. We have to be careful though, because we're taking quite a lot of damage. And we can just let the Orb Prime regen do its wonder, and then we can re-engage afterwards. So here we're trying like to change a little bit the angle, as you can see. And here we're trying to dodge with the SN. We're trying to go in. We use the ultimate, try to get as much damage as we can, but team is a little bit far away, so we cannot like fully follow up. And here is just a matter of pushing all the lanes, get some minions in, and that should be like a GG for sure, because the Orb Prime region is gonna be pretty hard to deal with. So in terms of build, we do have got the Absolution in the end on the 5th item to be able to survive the CC damage and kind of securing as much of the strengths as you can. So as usual, a little like ranked review. I would like to ask of you if you like that format to of course support me through subscribing, but also sharing the video. And if you have certain players you want me to review, or if you have some games that you think are great, that you have like maybe catch on a stream or something and you would like to have my analysis on it, please add it in the comments below. I will like check them and I will like, it will greatly help me to get like the best content out possible for your enjoyment. Thank you everyone. I'm out.